So the Radeon RX 6000 series event just happened. There's a lot to cover. I got a whole sheet. I got a whole side. I got a whole another side. I did homework. Big moves. Okay. There's a couple things I want to talk about. So 7nm TSMC. It's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. Node size doesn't really matter. It all depends on how you use the node, how much you can really pack in. And so node size not equal. If you know this, I think Intel's 10. So Intel 10nm is equal to TSMC 7nm. Can I make this smaller? Yeah, I can. This is good. Yeah, okay. Just thought we need to go over that. I just want to understand that. You now have infinity cache. Like RAM for CPUs. Which, I mean, it's a big deal. And then plus 256-bit bus for your memory. Obviously, a higher bit bus, a lot faster. Infinity cache is a way bigger deal, higher bandwidth. So, higher bandwidth. Oh, I didn't think about this. Okay, so we'll get about this later. We'll talk about this later. Anyways, you have 30% frequency. This really doesn't mean anything. Like this is irrelevant because let's say you're getting 100 FPS plus 30% does not equal not 130 FPS. That might be something like 120 FPS. It all just depends on architecture, and frequency is literally irrelevant in all of these parts. I just really think that's important to understand. If you've watched videos before, you'll probably have heard that before. I just thought that's really important to understand. I'm gonna make sure that people don't think I'm dumb if they skip through this video. So I had to make sure I write 130 FPS. 54% performance per watt. NVIDIA said this. Now I want to look at this. Ampere versus Turing performance per watt. 50%. Isn't there an image? There was that image, and I know you guys saw it, so I'm fine. It's this one. 1.9% at this point. Then it goes higher. We're not really going to see a difference. Obviously, if they let you put more power into the card, so that means that let's say a 5700 XT was 300 watts. Or let's just say that there's the situation where there's a 5700 XT, it's RDNA and RDNA 2. You're not going to get 54, you're going to get more power to actually go to the card at 300 watts. It's important to understand. But this is what was important to me to look at. 65% with 6900 XT. I mean, okay. I'm not very excited about the 69. Oh, I'm excited about 6900 XT. I'm excited for it really. If it's faster than a 3090, there's a couple of reasons why I feel like it would be. But anyways, we'll get through this a little bit later. This is just kind of a recap. You have RTX or Fidelity RX super resolution DLSS. These are definitely not proven. Remember marbles from NVIDIA? That doesn't mean it's going to look the same So obviously take those with a grain of salt. Wait for actual reviewers to show gameplay. So resolution. They never showed. Okay. Never showed RTX benchmarks. Tell me you would be sketched out if you were using this just for RTX. I doubt anybody. So nobody plays a game just because of RTX. If you do, you're not playing games. So the reason you should be playing games, you should be playing games to enjoy them, not to enjoy the way they look. But this makes me feel like there's not going to be a good, like, it's maybe just be like a 2060. I don't remember, those could barely run it. They had the RTX badge, but it really shouldn't have. It was that bad. And then it has variable rate shading. I don't really care. Variable rate shading. I don't care. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Obviously, it'll make stuff look better, but okay. Well, we're gonna open up another notepad. So control. We're gonna name this one 6800. Oh, that's small. We're gonna 6800 XT. You have. I'm writing this as I have my notes, just so 300 watts. $sign $649. This is cheaper by $50 than a reference 3080. And so this is how my scoring went. So AMD 4, Ti 1, NVIDIA 4. Oh. So basically it's pretty equal. I wouldn't say it's like, wait for actual reviews. So you have 72 Cs, 2250 megahertz with 128 megabytes of infinity cache, 16 gigabytes GDDR6. So these two numbers right here, the 128 megabytes of the infinity cache, 16 gigabytes of GDDR6. They're all the same for all three cards that we're talking about today. I won't continue to talk about these. Just remember that these three are the same. I don't really want to keep going through them. And now I'm just going through the way it was talked to in the actual announcement. So there are a couple of features. So one click OC rage mode. This is basically PBO for your GPU. I don't trust it. I trust manual overclocks way better than manual. I mean, then like automatics and stuff spin the same. I've never recommended that stuff for people. Then you have smart access. All right. So smart access. Ryzen plus 6000 series. So let's say you're going into your Windows control panel. You're on 2004, 2009. I'm on 2004 right now. Graphics. Hardware accelerated GPU scaling. Let's look it up. Hardware accelerated GPU scheduling. We'll talk about it right here. It allows your graphics card to manage its own VRAM. So I'm wrong in that point. So it allows CPU to get VRAM. It's basically what it is. It's basically just getting its own VRAM. I think this is cool. And obviously, I think so. Ryzen B550 X570 only. Ryzen is cache / mem heavy. But if you don't know, Ryzen can only go technically 3600 megahertz safe with 3000. With Zen 2, 3800 megahertz max. With Zen 3, 4000 megahertz max. This is all because the Infinity Fabric can only go, this would be 1800 megahertz. Technically, that's the max it can go, but it can go to wait, is my math right? My math is off somewhere. Wait, I'm right. 1800. And then make sure I'm not like, yeah. Okay, so I was right. Never mind. All right, so you have, which means that you have now a 1900 megahertz Infinity Fabric, which is definitely faster and does show in benchmarks. Then you have a 4000, which is 2K. You want this higher, the faster it will check for stuff. And then in Zen 2, so the 3000 series of Ryzen, they announced what's called game cache, which is just basically throwing cache at the CPU. And then they announced it for the brand new 5000. And then for the 5000 series, they basically just said, yep, we're going to give you more cache for the whole CPU instead of going by a CCX basis. That's a big deal. I could probably make a whole video just talking about smart access, but I really don't want to. Okay. Oh, and then apparently it's 2% to 13%. And I think that was in Forza and this was in Borderlands, if I'm right. Anyways, anti-lag. Oh my gosh. I hate anti-lag. I just thought that should be known. Anti-lag. Does nothing unless you're a high quality gamer. So here's what anti-lag is. I'm going to explain this. This is kind of important to why I don't like anti-lag. Helps when GPU at 99% usage. So, for example, we're going to talk, like, you know, in video reflex. So, in video reflex, this actually works. But I only recommend it in one game. I've said this a ton of times before. I don't even recommend it in any of these games. Maybe Destiny. That's about it. I actually recommend it like 2 games. Destiny and COD. And then you want it on Enable Plus Boost. This is a DX. So it's DX 9 and 11 only. So that's like your CSGO, your Fortnite, Valorant. Let me make sure. I think it's right. Valorant DX 11. It is DirectX 11. So these games are comp. So comp games, all low settings, easy to run. You're not going to have trouble on 6900 XT. You're not even going to have trouble on or 6800. Maybe if you have a lower card, like I was thinking like 5500 XT, yes. Maybe 5600 XT. That's my thought process with this. I don't think it's really going to be a big deal for people. And they showed, I think, 30 plus milliseconds in Fortnite 4K Epic. No one plays in 4K Epic. If you do, please DM me on Discord. I'm very interested on why you decide to hurt yourself in that way. I don't know. It's just I don't see it in that way. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a like. I don't think anyone's using that. All right, let's go to Notepad. Let's go to like Notepad number 3. You got your 68. Yeah, I forgot I always have to do this. You got your 6800. This is a 250 watt 579. Competes with 3070 for 80 more. Wait, can I just do grand? Alright, anyways. So I mean, here's my thing. You have 60 compute units, 15 base, 2100 boost. All right. Then you have your 16 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes GDDR6. This one fully beat the 3070. Let me make sure it's the 3070 before I mess myself up. AMD where gaming begins. Yeah, episode 2. I'm just gonna make sure because I don't want to look
over first gen
like I'm like messing myself up or anything. Let's see which one is this. The 6800 XT. Man, they really do. Oh wait, they did it against 20 Ti. 20 Ti, which basically is a 3070. Ooh. Most likely will beat 3070. Double the VRAM, same speed. This is a big deal right here, the fact that it's the same speed, because so the only reason I was watching people's reviews, the only reason that the 2080 Ti was beating was because it had the 3 extra gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. That's a huge deal right there. And this is basically a 4K 60 card or a 1440p like 144 card. I don't see it as a bigger deal. And then with the 6800 XT, I see this as like your 4K 100 hertz 1440p, maybe 240. Maybe. Depends on your game. If you're playing an easy game, yeah. If not, you're going to have some trouble. You're going to be bouncing around like 200 or, yeah, like 200, 100. And then let's talk about the big boy. The huge, ginormous 6900 XT. This thing is insane at 80 compute units. Ooh, do I really want to say the price? No, I'm not going. Well, I'll say the price later. But anyways, it literally is 300 watts. This pulls less power than a BIOS modded 3080 at 450 watts. So for the Win 3. Oh my gosh. And same size as 6800 XT. 3090 killer? Maybe. Alright, I had to get the TikTok clickbait. That's actually so funny. It's clickbait TikTok right there. Anyways, we can actually get to the real conversation here. Beats. Honestly, it could be. I'm not going to say it's not. Trades. 3090 has 8 gigabytes more of GDDR6X. faster and more of it. But yet again, you're paying $500 to $700 more. So if you're a avid, you do hard DaVinci, Adobe, whatever you do. During the day, you game at night, get the 3090. If you're a streamer, especially. What else? Okay. And then for speed, you get 2015 megahertz to 2250 megahertz. This is important to say. Should have said it earlier. Megahertz does not go from AMD to NVIDIA. Not equal with NVIDIA. It all depends on basically your transistor count. For NVIDIA CUDA cores, for AMD Cs, or its SMs on NVIDIA. But this is the card that I see is definitely a 4K 144 44 hertz 1440p 240 hertz. This is like you get a higher refresh rate, or 1080p 360 hertz. If you enjoy that, I do. I'm on a 240 hertz, and honestly, it's insane. And then I thought it was important to say benchmarks with Rage and Smart Access. So now we're going to talk about why you when should you not buy it. We'll go over do buy. So do buy this card if you are gamer, esports. Don't need features to really get FPS and low price. That's all you need it for. Don't buy one PC streamer and rank. So let's just say I have OBS. You see this? We're going to talk about this right here. This is insane. This X.264. So you need it. So that RTX high quality. If you actually want high quality good FPS is what the card you're going to need. Next, you need fast memory or 3090. You're going to get more. That's very important. Another reason to buy possible better modding. So on Vega, you had PowerPlay modding. That's a little harder to do. I think you could possibly do it on the Radeon 7 and the RDNA cards. Doesn't really matter. I mean, you could mod a 5700 to a 5700 XT that was just, it was like in between. I'm not going to say that you should use these cards, but obviously do what you want. YouTube, I'm going to be real. Don't pre-order a card. Don't pre-order just wait. Just wait till I think like November 18th for the 6800 and the 6800 XT. Or wait until December 8th for the 6900 XT before you really, unless you're a fanboy, you just want an NVIDIA card. It's fine. Do what you want. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you guys are new. I'll see you guys later. Peace out, guys.